In this video, you'll see how you can use text search queries to search for some keywords, select some context, and store the results in a node. Let's see the more advanced capabilities that are available to us in the text search. Suppose I'm interested in looking to see where people are discussing phishing. Since this is a relatively concrete concept, I'd like to have NVivo help me to find all the mentions of phishing, and I'd like to be sure to include shrimping, crabbing, and so on. I'll start here on the Explore ribbon and choose Text Search. I'll type here fish, shrimp, oyster, crab, and flounder. Notice I only need a space to separate these terms, no commas, ands, or ors. I do have access to some special operators in case I'd like to look for these words only when near other terms, for example. To the right of my search terms, I see a slider. If I left this set at exact with my current terms, I would not pick up mentions of phishing. Sliding that down to stem words will bring in phishing as well as fished and fishes. Notice that I could slide this further. If I were to bring in synonyms with my current search, I may pick up words like small and tiny, not the sort of shrimp I'm after, so I'll stick with stemmed words for this search. The final two options are specializations and generalizations. This would bring me progressively broader combinations of words. The dialog includes a helpful set of examples here to remind you of how these options affect your search. I've decided I will search in all my files and externals, and now I'm ready to run the query. You'll notice I could have narrowed the scope of this query by clicking on selected folders and search for this text only in my interviews or literature file folder, or narrowed it further to just search specific items. But I will leave the query on the default and have it run through all the files and externals. The preview of my results tells me that I've picked up content in 30 different sources. I can see that by looking at the status bar below. Through the reference view, I can scan through the results and see that my query has done quite a good job at picking up the content I was seeking. In fact, it's done such a good job that I'd like to save the results of this search into a node, almost as if I'd gone through the text myself and selected all the passages, but I notice most of the text I'm viewing here is shown in grey. This indicates that the words are not going to be coded if I simply store the results in a node. Only the words in black text would be coded. Just above my results, still in detailed view, I can see my query criteria. From here, I can choose to spread my coding. Looking at the options here, narrow context would give me just 5 words before and after each word. Broad will return the entire surrounding paragraph, often too much context in interviews where paragraphs tend to be quite long. So I'll click on Custom Context. You'll see in the tabs along the right hand side of my text search results that I have text, PDFs, pictures and datasets in my results. So I'm going to choose 15 words for my textual data and for the log of my pictures. This will return 15 words before and 15 words after each word found, and I will select the surrounding cell for my dataset. Then click OK and run the query again to refresh my results. Now I can click on Save Results. I'll accept the default here to create the results as a new node, rather than merge it into an existing node. I'll save this node in the Nodes folder rather than the default Results folder, as later I might like to modify the node by coding more to it, or uncoding some less relevant content from it. I'll name the node ts_phishing, so I can distinguish this from any other node I may have named phishing. A note of caution when saving text search query results as nodes. As discussed in the Fundamentals course, text search queries must not be used as a quick and dirty way of doing your coding. The text search will gather some of the data you would code yourself, however, it may also gather data you do not need, such as when a word appears in an interview question rather than your answer, and missed out words you may need, such as when a word is spelt or typed incorrectly. You will need to carefully review any of the coding done by means of a text search query before relying on the node for your analysis. Let's click OK to save this node. Let's go and find that results folder just in case you do happen to save your node there. I navigate to search, then click the query results folder. Nodes in this folder can be accessed in the query dialog, but note that nodes in the results folder cannot be changed. So, as you look through what is coded and want to encode some irrelevant text that was added when you spread the coding, you would need to move the node out of the results area and into the nodes area. This video has given you more ideas about the possibilities of the text search query, from a very simple search for a particular quote you remember, to some rough coding. Remember though, your research methods and questions should always drive your use of NVivo. Either your data or your methods might prevent you from using the text search query in this way. Is there a term you'd like to find throughout your own data? Give this a try.